Hi there, and welcome to Naturally Recovering Autism. I am your host, Karen Thomas, and I want to thank you so much for being here and being a proactive parent and getting the resources that you need to let your child live their most fulfilling and independent life possible. When my own son was diagnosed with autism, I was told to drug him and try behavioral therapies, and there was nothing else that we could do for him but manage his symptoms the rest of his life. But I didn't want to do that. Fortunately, my background in craniosacral therapy of now 30 years let me know that the brain can and does heal, but I didn't know that much about autism. What I did know is that I didn't want to just mask the symptoms with dangerous drugs. I wanted to find the causes and work with them naturally. And fast forward, it took me a decade and a lot of time and effort, but today my son is no longer diagnosable with autism after being told it could not happen. So I'm here to share with you valuable resources to save you the time and some of the expense that I had to spend to figure it out, and to help you let your child lead to their best results possible. Every child's level of recovery is different, but we know that children who couldn't sleep through the night are sleeping now through the night and happily. Their immune systems are now strong where they were once sick all the time. Children who were non-verbal and their parents were told they could never speak are now speaking. Children who were getting D's and F's in school are getting A's and B's, and those that were so anxious all the time and couldn't sit still and were uncomfortable in their own bodies are now calm and happy and relaxed, and they're leading fulfilling and independent lives with friends. This is what we want for our kids. So I'm here to share the resources with you so that you can get the best results for your child, the best possible. And you can start that right now with my free download of the top 7 foods to eliminate beginning today, of the top foods that are the most inflammatory and toxic that are contributing to those physical and behavioral symptoms of autism that your child is having. They're making his life uncomfortable. So you can get that right now at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/7 foods. And feel free to share that with anybody you know who would be interested. And I will also link to it in today's show notes. There's of course a lot more than diet, but this is something you could start doing today that will begin to reduce those symptoms. And I'm happy to share everything I can with you. So right now, let's dive into today's episode.
Well, hello, and thank you for being here. My name is Karen Thomas, and I'm excited that you're here because I have a life-changing health technology that I'm excited to be able to share with you. In 38 years in holistic health, I have never seen anything that can do what this product can do for people and be affordable and simple and completely natural and non-invasive. And so it is exciting to watch it change people's lives, including my own. A friend of mine shared it with me. She had a background in being a nurse practitioner. She knew I worked with children with autism and I was into holistic health. So she said, "Hey, Karen, you got to look at this." And so she sent me some information. I checked out the research and I decided to try it for myself. I got my whole family on it. And in the first week, I noticed my energy level and my mental clarity and my sleep improved. And I thought, wow, this is great. But, over time, what more might I notice? Well, the only thing I really had going on at the time was that my right shoulder had a 20-year-old injury from sports injury. And I really just, it hurt all the time. I had to go to the chiropractic once a week and nothing really seemed to do much for it. And then about 3 or 4 months in on wearing this patch technology, I noticed that it wasn't hurting me anymore. And now that I've been on the patches for 10 months, it doesn't hurt at all anymore. It is completely gone. I have full range of motion. I can work out as hard as I need to. I have better mental clarity, flexibility, and stamina than I have for years. And this is literally age reversing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some slides because I want to give you some background on the company and show you, let you hear some testimonies. And also know that, of course, everybody's testimonials are personal and to them, what has happened for them, and everybody's are different. And some notice things slowly and some notice things quickly. But it is definitely something that works for everyone when given enough time and work and used properly. So I want to start some slides now real quick to show you a little bit of background on the technology and the company and what it's done for people and how you can get started if that's something you decide to do. Because this is about getting away from big pharma, being able to avoid surgeries, and living life healthier and happier, right? That's absolutely what we want. So the company's name is LifeWave, and the product I'm going to talk about today is called X39. And the owner and the inventor of these products, David Schmidt, he has over 200 patents to his name. He's a scientist and inventor. And in the early 2000s, he was actually commissioned by the U.S. Naval Department to create something for the Navy SEALs that would help them with these 24 to 48 hour missions that they were on, because they needed stamina, endurance, and mental clarity, but they were all getting addicted to amphetamines. They needed to make sure that they were healthy. It was non-invasive, but it would something that would work for them. And they commissioned and hired David because they knew that he's a scientist and inventor with a well-known, respected, reputation. So he created that patch in the early 2000s, and it's still being used today by the Navy SEALs, and it's being used by many professional athletes, including Michael Phelps wearing them in the U.S. Olympics, and David Beckham and Serena Williams. And so the reason that this became so popular is that, the word of mouth started spreading. A lot of people said, this has to be relationship to relationship, because there's no way that people are going to understand what this can do by looking at a box on the store shelf. And word started to spread. And then what David wanted to do was create something, because the buzz in around 2008 was about stem cells. If you ever heard of it, anybody, I have plenty of people I know, they've flown to Mexico or Panama, spent up to $30,000 or $40,000 on stem cell injections, which are only to one site. They're not systemic. They can go bad in the body, or actually even be rejected by the body. And they don't always work, and they're extremely unaffordable for most people. So David wanted something that was affordable and could activate our own stem cells, because I'm going to share with you what has actually happened. So in 2008, David began spending the next 10 years he spent with a team of stem cell researchers, and spent $4.5 million of his own money to create the X39 patch, which we're using today. It is used by many professional athletes, as I mentioned, all over the world. And the reason is that stem cells, and the one thing they don't tell us as we age especially, is that stem cells become dormant in our body. So what is a stem cell? It's a master cell that can turn into anything: a heart cell, blood cell, brain cell, anything it needs to. And we are made from them at conception, when we're born with billions of them. But as we age, they go dormant. So then we don't recover from injuries or illnesses as well. And we have, greater inflammation. We have, more health issues. And, of course, our skin gets wrinkled, our hair gets gray, but we also just lose kind of that energy and oomph that we had in our, teens or our 20s, right? We want to live that way and live healthy. So they naturally repair and renew. It's their job, and they're found throughout the body and everything, and they take care of us, and they replenish dying cells. Now, this is really important, because we say this is not, age defying. It's literally age reversing. So why stem cell activation patches? They make up every organ in the body, and as our stem cells become dormant, this is what's interesting. At age 30, we have lost over 50% of the stem cells we were born with. By age 60, we've lost over 90% of the stem cells that we were born with. So we have less than 10% after age 60 that are working for us. Again, those injuries and illnesses and things we can't seem to get better from. So this patch actually activates our own dormant stem cells and reactivates them to go back to work in the body, just like they used to in our youth. So this is what is really important to understand too, and see how it works. And these are phototherapy patches. So it looks like this, if you can see in the screen. It's a little round patch, and it's like a little Band-Aid. You just stick it on your body, and it's phototherapy. So it's not using it's not putting anything into your body. That means non-transdermal. It's not interfering with any supplements or medications or anything anybody is on. It is simply using our body's own light and heat as the phototherapy to reflect the pattern in this patented technology back into the body that activates something called a copper peptide. Those peptides are what signal our stem cells to regenerate, reactivate, and they systemically go back to work in the body doing anything they need to. We might not notice that nagging shoulder getting better right away because those stem cells might be inside working on our heart or something else really important that is more important than that nagging shoulder. So we want to give this a month per decade of life at least to see what they can do for us. I usually tell people give it at least 6 months so you really know what they can do for you and be consistent. People often ask me, because I work with children with autism, how children might have stem cells becoming dormant. Well, inflammation damages stem cells. And all of us really have inflammation these days because we live in such a toxic world, right? And our goal is to get off of those supplements, those drugs, and avoiding surgeries and be able to stay healthy. But we also have environmental things affecting us. And children with autism have a lot of inflammation because they have a lot of infections and toxins and pathogens, which many of us do. Those stem cells are becoming damaged, so they're not working properly. This simple patch allows them to reactivate, renew, and go back to work in the body. Again, using just the body's own light and heat, transdermal, completely non-invasively. It's like if you were out in the sunlight and you were getting vitamin D from the sun. The sun is not actually making vitamin D on your skin. It's the reflective technology of the sun converting in your body with cholesterol and some other things to create vitamin D in the body. This patch only needs our body's heat and light to be activated. The benefits of X39 are increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, huge for mental clarity, restored muscular and skeletal conditions, improved sleep, and improved skin appearance. My friend her mom was having dementia issues and losing cognitive decline and couldn't remember her grandchildren's names. And several months on the patch, a few months on the patch, her mom started remembering the grandchildren's names. She's been on the patches almost 2 years now, has her full cognition back. So this is for everyone, whether it's a healthy athlete who wants extra stamina and endurance, repairing of injuries and illnesses, or as well as mental and brain health. So the long-term results are things like resetting genes. In the first 24 hours, science is showing that this patch will activate over 4,000 genes in our body and begin to reset them. The brain becomes balanced. Collagen increases. Now, collagen is great for our hair and our skin, but it's also repairing things like our bones and the cell membranes. These all rely on collagen. One of the studies they did showed 14 out of 16 people had their heart reverse in age by 8 years when on the patch for just 6 months. So incredible for heart health and everything else. How do you wear these? Super simple. You put them on in the morning when you get up, and I just put them next to the toothbrush. And then at night when you go to brush your teeth, you take them off and throw them in the trash. They're disposable. The next day you put a new one on, and that's it. A new one on each day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. The off time is when our body really regenerates and uses what was activated from the patch. So it's really important for the off time as well. My 88-year-old mom had her last third TIA stroke about 3 weeks before I learned about these patches. And they could not get her blood pressure down. They had her on 3 different medications. All they kept doing was increasing her dosages. That's all they knew to do. Nothing was working. I found out about the patches. This was now 10 months ago. I put her on the patches. Within 3 weeks of being on the patch, her blood pressure leveled for the first time. The doctors literally went, "Wow, what are you doing? I've never seen your blood pressure this good." So I didn't wait till I even had my own experience, even though now I have had plenty and seen plenty with it. I wanted my mom on them right away. I got them for my family, my husband, my kids, all of us are on them. So simple. With my mom being older, I just said, just put it on every morning, throw it in the trash at night, put a new one on. She's doing it. It's that easy. It's like putting a Band-Aid on. The patent says you can literally put it anywhere on the body. So you can put it anywhere it hurts. A lot of parents with autism ask me, well, what if my child has sensory issues? You can put it on their back, or you can even put it on the outside of the shirt where it's not touching the skin, and it will the light from and heat from our body will activate it through a shirt. So it's that simple to use. So put it where it hurts and you're done. That's all you need to do with it. And if you're want to see some of the scientific background or research or patent information, and here's some amazing testimonies as well, this is at info.com is the website where you can learn more about those things as well. Testimonies are the backbone of what this makes this so powerful and why it's grown so quickly in the last 10 years. It's because word of mouth has spread for people sharing what has happened to them. I shared about myself and my mom, and I would like to share a few things from others as well. In this topography map, this was a woman who was 77 years old that they wanted to do a study with and see how the patch, the X39, might affect her. So they took a topography, an imaging of her brain. And the first one here in session 1 shows quite a bit of inflammation on her brain. She also came in with what they call as a hyperactive brain. And she was losing cognitive impairment. She was really not cognitively, she had lost coherence. Session 2, 3 weeks later, they had her come in again. She had been on the patch for 3 weeks. They took this picture again, and her brain, you can see the majority of the inflammation is gone, and she's starting to get cognitive coherence back. In session 3, at 6 weeks on the patch, she now has better brain coherence, and you can see that it's a complete turnaround in the brain, and that her brain is no longer hyperactive, and the inflammation is almost gone. This is a couple of parents. These are a couple of testimonies from parents I've worked with in my mentoring program for autism. And this mom says, 1 week on the patch, I've noticed a slight increase in my energy. So she was using the patch for herself, which I encourage you to think of not only yourself, but everybody you know who could use a natural solution and is searching for one. She was taking care of herself, which I'm grateful that she did. She noticed her energy improved right away in just days. She used the Ice Wave patch, which is for pain, on her son because he had a headache, and it worked. And then also the Eon patch, which is a patch that targets inflammation first. That X39 is going to do work on the stem cells, and they're going to work on the inflammation. But they have to eat through that wall of inflammation before they can get to any of the vital organs and other work that they need to do, right? We all have inflammation. So the patch called the Eon targets that inflammation first, and it targets brain balancing first for calming cortisol levels, to reduce stress, helping sleep, tremendous for that. And by fighting that inflammation first, those stem cells are getting to where they need to faster. So just wanted to explain that because this slide mentions it. So she added on the Eon patch yesterday. She had been on the X39 for her son. Her son's sensory seeking dropped to the floor, definitely decreased by 40% that day. This other mom says, 1 week on the patch, I see some changes in him. He's much happier now, has an increased appetite, and a good mood, looking forward to more positive changes. So this woman gratefully was thinking about others she loved and cared about, and noticed that if her own son was having benefits, then she wanted to share it with her own cousin who also had a son with autism. So she shared the patch information with them. We got her cousin set up with her son on the patches, and she said she told her about her autistic son being in a good mood and much calmer from them also in just 4 days on the patch. So this is what we do, is we share it with others and let them know that this exists because they're looking for solutions that we have. Here's a picture with a football player in high school who had broken his shoulder. And you can see in the x-ray that the clavicle had separated and was completely broken over. And then the doctor showed in the second x-ray, the doctor said, in 1 week in wearing the X39 patch, this shoulder looked like it had been repaired as a normal injury would have taken 6 weeks to do. The man in the upper right corner here is showing his A1C levels were rising to the point where he was getting toward needing medications because his blood sugar was so out of whack. He was really getting to the point where he was having, going to have some serious health issues. He got on the patch, and in time, his blood sugar reduced, his A1C levels balanced, and he no longer needed to go on meds, and they were his blood sugar was balanced for the first time. And he shows that here in his blood work, even it showed. The girl in the bottom right corner, she has some acne or eczema on her face. And you can see this is from wearing the patch alone that it has cleared up as well. The company growth, as I mentioned, it's a 20-year-old company. So in the early 2000s, David Schmidt had, again, been commissioned by the U.S. Naval Department, created some wonderful a patch that is still in use today for energy and stamina. But again, he wanted to know how to create something for those stem cells. And when he released the X39 patch in 2019, the company was a $20 million company. But from the time that patch, the X39, was released in 2019 to the end of 2024, the company went from being a $20 million company to a $600 million company. And it's projected at the end of 2025 to be at close to or over $1 billion. And it is on track to do so. And the reason for that is that this product works. It's not on trial. There's no question. It's all there. I always say, try it and see for yourself what it can do for you. Be committed to staying on it a month per decade of life, or really at least 6 months, to see what it can do for you. The company has grown 3,000% since 2018 or 2019 when the X39 was released, and that's all because of this patch, this one patch. They're in over 84 countries now as well. And again, it's not just another Me Too product. It's not another supplement or another medication or anything invasive or anything like it. This is the only thing like it on the planet. If you see something on it on Amazon or out there online, beware, those are fake, counterfeit ones. I'm a brand partner with LifeWave, and I can get you the authentic ones, and I can get them for you at wholesale or below wholesale. So please contact me for that. Try it for yourself. See what it can do for you. And this is how you can get started. There are 3 ways to get started. One is to be a retail customer, which nobody needs to do. Nobody needs to pay retail because that's more expensive and there's no need for it. You can become what's called a preferred customer and get the product at wholesale. One X39 is $99.95 a month. That is about the cost of a $3 cup of coffee a day. So that it's extremely affordable. The best way to get the best deal is to become a brand partner. And if you choose, whether or not you choose to, but if you ever did choose to share it with your cousin or your sister or your mom, then you are set in place to do so. And it also gives you the product at below wholesale, because there are some package bundles that can allow you to, the larger the bundle, then the lower the price is of the product. So that's what they do. So there's a premium package with 20 sleeves in it. So if you've got a large family or you're planning on sharing it with people, some people come in at that. The Advanced Plus is 11 sleeves. And that can be for, the average family who needs enough for everybody in the family. Or I came in at the Advanced 6 sleeve. I've got myself, my husband, both of our kids, and my mom on them. So that was the one that I came in at. So you can see too, the 6 sleeve pack for 6 of them is $535 US, and that drops the price down to $89.17 patch. And you can see as the packages go up in size, the price of the patches per patch reduces. So that's why the savings bundles are the best way to go. And for somebody who has maybe one person in the family, 1 or 2, and you just kind of looking to try it for a few months, again, committing to that 6 months per decade or month per decade of life is really important to really see what it can do for you. Because again, it's working at a cellular level, but we don't see things on the outside always right away. Some people notice things really quickly in a day or 2. Other people might notice subtleties over time and notice greater differences with more time. So you want to give it enough time. The 3 sleeve pack is just $295, and that gives you 3 of them. And so you can see these are ways that you can get started. And with that brand partnership in place, you can share enough to get your own patches paid for. Or if you decide that you wanted to add an additional income stream to your family's income, you can build this as a business to create by helping people. It's all for helping people and sharing this technology with others you have the opportunity to build an additional income for your family, to whatever you want to do. You want to share a little or you want to share a lot. You can do a lot with this. You can even grow it to whatever you'd like to. It's completely up to you. Those are the best ways to get the best prices. And so who are you thinking of right now who needs this? I'm sure as you watch this, you're thinking of people that you care about who could benefit from this technology. And this is all from word of mouth. We're a brand partner, as I mentioned. We share it with others. And the reason for this is David Schmidt knew there's no way that anybody would really understand what this product can do from a store shelf, knowing that it can help your mom's, your son's broken shoulder, or your child's maybe a symptom of autism, or increase their speech or their focus or their ability to sleep, or help them be calmer or happier, those kinds of things, or that your mom's blood pressure might get helped by it. That's something you need to hear from somebody else. Plus, it's the speed of trust. Hearing it from somebody that you trust and understand that they are telling you about this because of what it's done for them. So you have the opportunity like this to help others with their cognitive decline, to be able to have some cognition return and be able to feel better, to be able to, help people in their lives and get them off of drugs and big pharma, and save them money. With all of the time and expense that people are spending on healthcare today and not getting solutions, we can save them money and help them with a natural and non-invasive solution here. So if you're willing to say yes, jump on board, get patched now, see what the patches can do for you personally. This is what I recommend, to start it yourself and just see what it can do for your family, as I did, see what everybody's experience is. And you'll then really understand what we have our hands on, because this is what it is capable of. And to get your questions answered and your patches ordered, go to my website at thrivingwithpatches.com. That is a site that I've created specifically for the patch technology, to give you more information. If you have questions, to be able to schedule a call with me if you have questions and want my help answering them and getting your account set up, or a do-it-yourself link to go ahead and set your own account up and place your own order. They're all there, but where my links are going to get you authentic LifeWave patches that are not some counterfeit knockoff. I'm going to help support you on the journey while you're using them, so that you can get the best results and know how to use them, what to do. Also important to stay really well hydrated with them, because they will naturally flush some toxins from your system. So I'm going to help you with getting the best usage tips and the best results while you're using them as well. So please go to my website, thrivingwithpatches.com, and get your patches ordered now. Let me help you however I can, and I'm here to support you on this journey. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Again, please share this information with others who are in need, because many are. And I know that you're thinking about others who need it, and I can help you learn how to share it. I can teach you and train you on what you say, because you don't have to know how the technology works. You just have to know that you have a big heart and you have others you're thinking of, and that you wanted to help them. So you shared the information with them. It's very, very simple, and it's very rewarding to be able to help other people like that. So go to thrivingwithpatches.com, and I will see you there.